All righty, man. Broncos country, welcome. It's been a while since I've done a solo live show, and finally got the opportunity today to do it. It's been a really busy few weeks. So, what better day to do it, man, than after day 4 of Broncos training camp, where there was a lot of explosive news, man. Explosive plays and explosive news. Some things that I think are really stood out to me. We're going to talk about practice in general, who stood out, who had a really good day, who's stacking up days, who's still injured. We'll also be discussing some Taysom Hill talk, man, some things that Sean Payton had told Cynthia Freeland of NFL Network that's being reported that I think is really, really exciting. And then, Bo talk today too, man. So there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of stuff. So we'll wait for you guys to come in the comments. Leave me whatever questions you want to address. Just do so down below in the comments and we'll talk about it. But let's get into it, guys. Firstly, with practice today, I thought that from everything that I heard, man, it was an interesting day. The offense had some really big explosive plays down the field. Ultimately, they say the defense won the day, so really good competition. But again, it just looked like the team on both sides was really, really sharp. Marvin Mims continues balling. That is kind of what we've been seeing, and I love that. I think he's really sending a message to the Denver Broncos staff, to the front office. And I'm glad that he's getting that sort of reaction, man, to be honest with you. I think that it's really important because, again, like we talked about yesterday, when you're going into a contract year and the team just, spent all this money and gave all these assets up for somebody like Jalen Waddle to essentially replace you, your attitude can dictate everything, man. You could either tuck your tail between your legs, be pissed off, and kind of fade into the background, or you can really step your game up and make the decision on your contract really, really tough. And I think Marvin Mims has done just that. And I'm super happy that he did because, man, the Broncos offense with Marvin Mims is going to be better along with Jalen Waddle, right? You talk about two unbelievably explosive playmakers. And then you got Pat Bryant, you got Cortland Sutton, who are your big physical guys that can make plays. And then Troy Franklin, who's kind of right now seems like the odd man out in a way. I mean, he's obviously going to make this team, but he can kind of do everything as well. And somebody that we shouldn't forget about also. So Hakeem Butler making big time plays. You got to love to see it. Mr. Mike, man, welcome, brother. Appreciate you tuning in. He said Taysom Hill fake punts will go hard. Yeah, man, that's a good point. If we do, we know Sean Payton loves fake punts and we know he loves Taysom Hill. So why the hell not do both? That's a really good point. But yeah, in case you guys missed it, man, Sean Payton was sitting down with Cynthia Freeland. I'll get you guys the exact quote, if there even is one, but it was him, Steve Wyche and Cynthia Freeland. Said the Broncos will explore bringing in free agent tight end Taysom Hill. Now, I don't think anybody can say that we're shocked. I think the big thing for me is Taysom Hill wanting to play or is he kind of retiring? It seemed like he was opening the door for both. He just didn't want to continue in New Orleans. My guess is that he wants to take a little bit of time off and give it a run with a Super Bowl contender. And it's such a no-brainer fit. Like, if Taysom Hill is going to play football this year, I'd be willing to bet whatever that it would be with the Denver Broncos. Or he's just going to retire, which is fine too. But why the heck not, man? Why not bring in Taysom Hill? You've seen the kind of respect and love that his teammates have for him, that the organization previously had for him. They gave him like a video montage of him announcing that he's leaving, narrated by Drew Brees. You don't just do that for a regular player. Right. And then obviously the versatility that he's got, man, he can play quarterback, he can play tight end, he can play fullback, he can play running back, he can play wide receiver, he can return punts and kickoffs. Unbelievably versatile guy. I've always been a massive Taysom Hill fan. And yeah, if he wants to give it one more go, he fits exactly what this Broncos team wants. Obviously from a leadership standpoint, just the way that he was respected. But in terms of filling in any holes that we have, right? We got a hole at tight end in terms of the depth. We got some questions there. He can help. Backup quarterback concerns, he can help there. In the return game and on special teams, he's obviously very, very good and can play there as well. So hell yes, give me Taysom Hill fake punts all day, every day, or just Taysom Hill in general. I'd love it. I think that the more versatility we have, the merrier. And guys, do you think truly that if it was Taysom Hill starting in the AFC Championship game last year at quarterback instead of Stidham, do you really think that we lose that game? Maybe we do, but you certainly cannot make the argument that we put on a worse showing offensively than what we saw last year from Stiddy. So, man, give me Taysom Hill as a backup quarterback. You can put in Sam Ellinger there too if they want. And again, lots of things Taysom Hill can do, man. No doubt about it. Exciting news there. We'll see what ends up happening. I think if you're asking me, personally, I believe that if he does want to play, he will sign with the Broncos, and I think it'll probably happen like the last week or so of camp. Probably just wants as much time off as possible, maybe to come in and get acclimated with the teammates and all that, but I don't think he's going to go through a full training camp. But we'll see. You never know, man, because let's say we start to have guys that are stepping up and that the Broncos really like at all those positions, then maybe it doesn't make sense because we are a deep roster. You can't forget that, and that means you're going to cut some talented players and potentially risk losing them and not getting them back on the practice squad. So there is that small chance that he doesn't come here, but I think I'll put my money that he does, just to say that. I do. I also expect a Jaquan McMillan contract very soon, like as soon as today. And that's obviously I don't have sources, but the reason that I feel that way is because if you've noticed a trend lately, guys, you'll have some certain media members, specifically Mike Kliss, ask players about a certain guy that plays on that side of the ball. And then kind of unprompted out of nowhere. Like today, I think Mike Kliss asked Brandon Jones specifically about Jaquan McMillan and what he's meant to the team and all of that. And a lot of the times that kind of is almost foreshadowing into like a deal coming. I don't know if Mike Kliss knows something. But if I had to guess, just maybe an intuition or a gut feeling that I have, which, spoiler alert, guys, my gut feeling is usually never right. So maybe this one I will be. But a gut feeling is that Jaquan McMillan is going to get his deal done today. I feel like it's close, and he'll probably be talking to the media tomorrow to talk about that. That's just something that I'm thinking about. But, we'll see. Most likely wrong, but I think Jaquan's going to get done soon. Riley might as well, man. And that brings us to Jade Baron. All right? How are we going to solve this Jade Baron dilemma? Is it even a dilemma? I'm curious what you guys think in the comments. But I'll tell you this. There was reports yesterday from DMAC that they played Jade Baron at a little bit of safety in certain positions. Listen, I think this is all a good thing. I'm still a Jade Baron truther, and yes, you can have the hindsight and say, was it a bad pick or were there better players? Sure, at least for the short term. But we can't change that. But what I do love about what they're doing with Jade, or what Jade can do, and when we drafted him, was his versatility. And so if he could be someone that kind of plays cleanup duty wherever you need him, I think that's a really good thing. And if by us drafting him meant that guys like Jaquan McMillan step their game up, guys like Riley Moss step their game up, that's a net positive for the team. That's all that really matters to me. So, we're going to see. We're going to see where they end up using him. I mean, they use him in a very versatile kind of dime backer role last year, which is very game plan specific to certain opponents. Obviously, it's frustrating to some people. But we're just going to have to kind of see how this plays out and not look so much into it, right? I know that because he's a 20th overall pick, there's a lot more pressure on him needing to come in and contribute right off the bat, but that's not always the case. It would be something that would be a frustration if, like, let's say you really needed to have a second corner and you drafted him 20th overall, a year ago, and he just doesn't look good, then it's really frustrating because then you're like, damn, like, what a bust of a draft pick. He's not even a good player. That would be a really bad problem to have. What we have is a really good problem. We have a very talented young player that we spent the 20th overall pick on that is struggling to see the field because the guys in front of him are so damn good. And so it doesn't mean that he's struggling. It means that the guys in front of him are just doing better. Again, good problem to have. I get it. I would have loved Derek Harmon. I was pounding the table for Emeka Ibuka. I was heartbroken when he went at 19. I still don't believe we should have taken Omarion Hampton. You'll never be able to convince me that taking a running back in round one is smart, ever. You just can't. But there's other guys. Nicky Manwari, Carson Schwesinger. I mean, there's all trade back a little bit, get Harold Fannin. I mean, I get it. I get what everyone's gripe. But, again, we can't go back and change that. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Injuries happen. We know that. And the positive is if it happens at the cornerback position, we are very well equipped to handle that and overtake it because of having Jade Baron on the team. And again, if there's an injury to Jaquan, you think that Jade Baron can come in and fill in for there. If there's an injury to Riley Moss, he can go in and fill there. So that's a really valuable player, right? First round pick or not, it's a very valuable player. We should be very grateful that we have it. T. Fishes coming through saying, hey, Mark, my gut feeling is Riley gets a deal done and J-Mac plays his final year in Denver. I personally wanted to trade back and get Carson, Trey Hendo, or Fannin. Yeah, any one of those guys would have been cool. A trade back for Trevion Henderson would have been something nice as well. Love me some Harold Fannin. Loved him in the draft. Carson Schwessinger looks like he's going to be the next great off-ball linebacker. But, I hope you're wrong, T, because I do have an active bet right now going on with Respect My Co's about who ends up getting signed first. And now it could be Riley, no doubt about it. But I don't know why it would be. And here's my feeling, here's my thought process on that. Firstly, I just think J-Mac's a better player. Is he more valuable? Not necessarily because he plays slot rather than playing outside, but I just think he's a better player as a playmaker. He's not going to command nearly as big of a contract as Riley Moss will, just being that he's a nickel. So financially, it makes a lot more sense. I think he fits into like the culture too and the kind of player that he is more so than Riley. Not saying Riley doesn't, but I think he makes more of an impact there. He makes a huge impact plays. Again, it's an easier deal to get done. And then with Riley, it's like you're kind of projecting. You have a much higher chance of overpaying for someone like Riley Moss because his agent, as he should, is going to be like, we need top of the market dollars. This is a starting corner. If Riley Moss were to hit free agency, he would get upper half of the market money. The Broncos might be hesitant because, again, they do have Jade Baron there, but also, you're paying all this money to PS2. You're just not going to be financially in the best position to pay that kind of money. And he's also a little bit of a volatile player. He's been good at times. He's been bad at times. So maybe you're right, but I think Jaquan is just an easier deal to get done. Easier deal to get done. And you have a hungry UDFA that's there. Yeah, so maybe. Mike, my man, says, what do they do with Cooper? Is he on the 53? My opinion on that has actually changed quite a bit over the last couple days. Just listening to what Sean Payton says. And then the Troy Rank report came out. I think it was you, Mike, that actually talked about it on your show. I didn't see that until I saw you talk about it. The Troy Rank report about if you know what he knows and some of the police reports and the backstories to it, he says he doesn't think Cooper is going to be on there. And it kind of goes hand in hand with Sean Payton's verbiage of like, we've supported him, we've stuck by him. He's a Denver Bronco right now. We're going to see how this process plays out. I think it's a really big, it's the first big test for this Walton Penner ownership group on how they're going to handle these types of situations. So I think it obviously depends on what ultimately comes out. What's the true story about this Jonathan Cooper situation? And if it's as bad as Troy Rank makes it seem like it is, I don't think they're going to keep him on this team. And also, the really quick, reversing of course that they made on Jonah Ellis. The first they said he's going to maybe move in and play a little bit of off-ball linebacker. And then today, they obviously, that didn't last very long. Sean Payton talked about that a little bit today. I thought that was funny, actually. Try to stay on topic here, but he said that we felt like it didn't make sense to take him. He's doing really good in a position that's very hard to find an edge rusher and moving him over to a position that's a little bit easier to find an inside linebacker. Just proof that they really don't put a whole lot of stock in the inside linebacker position, and that's fine. But that immediate switch of like, no, we're going to keep Jonah Ellis there kind of lines up with the timing of the Jonathan Cooper situation as well. And they haven't even gone back to that. They're like, nah, because Jonah Ellis could very well be the starting edge for this team. So I think right now, I don't think so, man. I really don't. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting to look. And that makes you wonder, like, okay, let's play this hypothetical game. If Jonathan Cooper's not on this team, does it change all that much in terms of like, do we have to bring any more depth guys in? We're in a position where we kind of don't, right? It puts a lot more stress on someone like Jonah Ellis to be an absolute baller, right? Dondrea Tillman. And Jonah Ellis is really unique because he's very good at setting the edge, which is what Jonathan Cooper is really good at. So you might worry about that. Dondrea Tillman can do that pretty well. But, man, you got Q Robinson. I think he's going to have a huge breakout year, too. I think he's going to take a massive leap. And then also, we cannot forget about Johnny Walker, man. Johnny Walker's yesterday, I know a lot of guys talked about him out there making plays, knocking balls down, looking really, really good. He's the forgotten man. He was the UDFA that I was really excited about last year. Got injured early in camp and got basically IR for the whole year. But we're deep, man. We are deep there. Deshaun McCullough is someone that could play edge, could play off-ball linebacker. I don't know if there's been any reports on where he's been lined up so far, but he's someone that's there too. So we are stacked at that position. So I think we could survive it. But ideally, man, Jonathan Cooper's on this team. Like, the legal process clears itself up, everything's good, and we could just move forward. But you never know. You never know. David Youngkin saying, in my opinion, we need a cornerback 2 across from PS2. I mean, I think we have one. I don't think you could say Riley Moss has been bad by any means. He's a very, very high quality starter. He's going to get more targets and a lot more responsibility being opposite of PS2. And I think he's done an admirable job. I just feel like my problem that I've always had with him is that he doesn't make defenses pay. Maybe he does this year. But he definitely lets more big plays happen than he does make big plays. And when you say, oh, that happens all the time, look at Jaquan McMillan. That's just not how he rolls. He allowed 2 touchdowns, but he got 2 interceptions. Big time interceptions. So he's always making plays. And then the penalties too with Riley will get you. But, we'll see, man. We'll see. I think we have it. I don't think it's a massive hole by any means. I think it's probably our deepest position. Having lockdown corners really helps this defense. It does. What helps the corners too is the fact that we have an unbelievable pass rush. I mean, when you're a team that's led the league in sacks for the last 2 seasons, you expect for your secondary to look really good, right? I expect for them to have more turnovers. So my biggest criticism I would say of Riley is just get more turnovers, man. Get more turnovers. Make quarterbacks regret passing the football towards you, because you are going to get targets that come your way. And to get only 1 interception is crazy, given the amount of targets that he's seen going his way. So Taysom Hill, baby. Yes, sir. Let's go, David. Let's go, man. How long has it been? I feel like me and Dave have been talking about this the longest. We've been on this Taysom Hill train for a minute. Could come to fruition with the reports that we talked about earlier of what Sean Payton says. So if Bo gets hurt, Hill is the backup quarterback. He should be. He definitely should be. He at least is dynamic and can make plays with his legs. So we'll see. He's like almost 40 though. Taysom Hill came into the league. I think he was 26 or 27 as a rookie. Oh, he's 35. Never mind. He ain't that old. That's cool. But yeah, he did come into the league when he was 28. 27 or 28. So he's been playing for eight seasons now. So yeah. Hell yeah, man. I would love Taysom Hill. No doubt about it. In regards to Cooper, I think Cooper's legal team will be prolonging the process and Cooper plays the majority of the season before getting cut. Maybe. Could be. Funny story. I actually, when I was watching the Broncos-Bills playoff game in Vegas with my dad and my brother, just an awesome time at this little place, we actually sat down in the booth with Harvey Steinberg, his lawyer, the Broncos lawyer. He knew like a family friend of ours, just kind of random. Super nice guy, actually. Very, very surprised. I mean, I guess usually people think lawyers are kind of assholes, but he was a really cool dude. So that was funny. So yeah, Harvey Steinberg is an unbelievable lawyer, man. He probably will get a lot of things, but I think it's more so like they could come to some sort of settlement, right? Like, hey, we'll pay him off and get this going. But if some really bad reports come out and it just causes really bad PR, there's a reputation here, man, that this new ownership group might have a decision to make in terms of setting. So we'll see. David likes Moss. Yeah, I think Moss is cool. I mean, but you just said you needed a cornerback too across from PS2. Are you saying that maybe Moss is that? I don't know. We'll see. Hope you're having a great day, Mark. You too, Cody. Guys, go make sure you subscribe to Cody's Still Up Sports, man, on YouTube. Does some great content. Help him grow his channel. Big time Bronco fan. Appreciate you, Cody. I know you're based in Vegas. I'll actually be out in Vegas August 14th. I'll be there for a night with a concert. So it's like my second home. It has been 2 years. You're right. We have been talking about this for a good minute now. Because he was always someone that, like, I even think you had a series of like, you wanted to fix the Saints cap situation. And every year Taysom Hill was like crazy, a high cap number, and then they could have like saved a little bit of money by getting rid of him. But yeah, it's been something it makes a lot of sense. And I've always liked Taysom, and it made me, man, when I saw the montage that they released of him, like again, with Drew Brees, what is it called? Like he was basically doing the voiceover and like he did the whole video tribute for him. I was like, damn, this dude was like unbelievably loved. He's like a legend in New Orleans. So that's cool to see. That kind of just adds more of like, yeah, I want that. That fits exactly what it is that Denver wants to do. So he does. He absolutely does help us win a Super Bowl. No doubt about it, man. I'm all for it. We'll see. Usually the league waits for the legal process to pan out firstly. That's usually what happens. And then they come down with a suspension. So if it's not a resolved criminal matter by the time the season starts, I don't think that they will suspend him. And they'll probably delay it to next year. Similar thing happened to a bunch of Chiefs players, but Rashee Rice, same kind of thing there. So Cody's saying, how crazy am I for this? Bo goes for 38 passing touchdowns, 4,800 yards, almost hit 4,000 yards with a lot of drops in a Waddle. Yep, I think over 4,000 is definitely possible. I expect with Waddle and less drops, it's quite reasonable. I think so too, man. 38 passing touchdowns is a lot. Not that I don't think Bo can do it, but I feel like we're going to be a lot better at running the football this year. I think we're going to be a lot more effective in that regard. So I expect a lot more rushing touchdowns. I would say maybe 38 total touchdowns for Bo is very reasonable. But I mean, I don't always like to make the most predictions when it comes to stats, even though for his rookie year, I was like almost spot on. But because, for me, it's like you can have a really good statistical year, but not as effective of a year overall and vice versa. So, we'll see, because you can look at it like, man, maybe he has 4,800 yards and 38 passing touchdowns, but if the offense can't run the ball effectively in certain situations, or they're just not as good in the important down and distance, like the third down where they need to get better, red zone where they need to get better, it doesn't really matter to me all that much. So, we'll see, but I don't think you're crazy for that at all. Are we going to sign Cajun Hill? That's a good nickname, man. That's a good nickname. We talked about Taysom quite a bit. I think we are, and probably be closer to the end of camp, closer to the season, if I had to take a guess. But I would love that. I think that we are. Cooper will get suspended eventually, but maybe not this year's facts. Yeah, I think so too. I think we'll see, man. But again, man, Marvin Mims, I've been so happy that I've just been seeing that consistency that he's been showing in camp. I love that. And I truly believe, I think if there's any really big difference that Davis Webb is going to have calling plays over Sean, is a lot of people think it's Evan Ingram. I really think it's going to be just utilizing like more of these weapons. And Marvin Mims is going to be one of them. I feel like, think about what you can do having Marvin Mims and Jalen Waddle, and Cortland Sutton and Pat Bryant all on the field at the same time. That mixture of size and strength with Evan Ingram as well. So it's like just these different packages, creative ways to be able to use all these guys. It's going to be really, really fascinating to see. I think Marvin's gonna crush it. But love to see that, man. I really did not want to have us in this, even though it's fun to talk about. I never wanted to have us in the situation where you truly have to make this big time decision on Marvin Mims. And I'm glad that so far up to camp, he's making it a no-brainer. We're going to roll with him, maybe even give him an extension. So we'll see. And so it's going to be awesome. And I think another big thing, Cody says here, more time to communicate with Bo if needed. I think another big thing too, man, is just a smoother operation, right? Sean can really focus on getting the right substitution packages in and out and not have to worry about the play call coming in, which is what will be handled elsewhere. So I think it's a really smart decision just overall. And I think it's going to benefit everybody. And I definitely want to see Davis Webb call plays from the sidelines. That's something that they talked about yesterday. I mean, dude, the guy's like sideline energy is infectious. You always see him put his hands up before a touchdown even happens. Or he's so fun to watch, and I feel like his players love that. So yeah, I want to see his ass on the sidelines, no doubt. Darian, was good, brother. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, also go subscribe to Darian, man. He's out there making some content as well on the YouTube. So yeah, make sure you go catch him out there as well, man. Always up in the chats, always up in everybody's chats, really. So great to see you, bro, man. And Darian, put your handle in the chat. My internet's bugging. We just talked about Baron. You can go back a little bit and listen to it if you wanted to, but I don't look at it like a scary situation, man. I really don't. I kind of explained why, so I don't want to be redundant, but really to kind of summarize it, like for me, you can have hindsight and say, oh, we should have drafted a different player. But at the end of the day, like if by drafting him, it means that Riley's played better, that Jaquan McMillan has stepped their games up. It's not a bad thing. He's going to be like the ultimate insurance policy, kind of play wherever. So I don't look at it like a big concern at all. I mean, yes, I'd like to see him make more plays, but we'll see. We'll see with him. I'm not overly tripping at all. Yep. That's a really good point. It's a really good point, David. All the great play calling head coaches call from the sideline. Webb wants to be a head coach, so no point in going to the booth. Yeah. I mean, I think it depends too. Like, some guys make that adjustment pretty easy. Others don't. But I think Davis Webb's going to want to be on the field. He'll probably have like an assistant coach or somebody up in the booth, maybe just discussing certain formations or looks, things that he would key in on. But yeah, I don't think that he'd want to be up there. But if he does, works for me. I ain't tripping either way. Just need to pick a position for him, in my opinion. I think so too. I mean, I know that the reports came out that Baron was playing a little bit of safety. Listen, I would say yes and no, because in college, look at him in college, right? He played everywhere. He took some snaps at safety. He took a lot of snaps in the nickel, and he took a lot of snaps outside. I think his senior year, he played mostly in the slot, but his junior year, he played outside, played very well, and he took a few at safety. So that's kind of always been his game. If it was something that like, it's a big learning curve for him and you're kind of hindering his development, then I would say I agree. But in this case, that's just kind of who he is. He's out there just balling and making plays. And again, I think it's going to be one of those where unfortunately it might take an injury for us to really feel the value of that pick, because if somebody were to get injured and he were to come in and play really well and still ball out, then you're going to be really happy that you had him. So it's just going to be patience. It's going to be patience. It's already a deep ass room that we had. So it's a very good problem to have, I think. Member for 5 months, my man, The Ron. Good afternoon, Marky. Good afternoon, my man. How you doing? Hope you're having a wonderful weekend so far. You guys are dope. We're not going to go too much longer here. It's already been a half an hour. So got some other things to do, but you guys have been awesome here in the chat. It's been a minute since I've gone live, man. And every time I do it, I'm like, I love this. I don't know why I don't do it more often. And man, things just happen, brother. Things just happen. So appreciate you. Appreciate you so much, my man. The show is nothing without all of you guys, commenting, supporting, getting in the live chats. That's the best part of Broncos YouTube, no doubt about it, is all the awesome fans, man. So I appreciate you. You think Ingram can actually get used better with Webb? I do. I think he can get used better even if Sean Payton was calling plays again. But a big issue, and maybe this is where Davis Webb can kind of like overcome it or like figure out a way. Maybe there'll be some learning curves or growing pains here. But like the thing about Evan Ingram is that when he was on the field last year, it was almost a guarantee that we were not running the ball. At least when he was lined up tight. If they line him up in the slot, then maybe like they had another tight end in. But if he was lined up tight, that like literally 90% of the time we're throwing the football, and teams would key in on that, and that makes it tough. That makes it really, really tough because you can't always tilt your hand like that. So, maybe now this year with Dallin Bentley, if he comes in and he can be the kind of blocker that we think he is, and also Nate Atkins, right, being healthy, and then Adam Troutman, those guys being your blocking guys with maybe a little bit of versatility to be able to stretch the field, it can open up opportunities for Evan Ingram to get one-on-one matchups. Maybe you line him up in the slot and all that more, but who knows? Because, maybe all the targets that you should have had go to Evan Ingram last year, maybe now they go to Jalen Waddle. So there's only going to be so many balls that can go around, right? If Marvin Mims is taking this massive leap and he's going to get some targets, we already know Sutton's going to get a bunch of targets. I want to see Pat Bryant get a whole bunch of targets because I know he's a baller when the ball's thrown towards him. And then obviously with the addition of Jalen Waddle, I just don't know how many opportunities there are going to be for any tight end, let alone Evan Ingram. So guys, if Evan Ingram goes for like over 400 yards this season, I think that that's a very successful year for him. In terms of what to expect. Anything more than that, it's a big positive. But I'd like to see him get his touchdown numbers up more and be that third down merchant for us. That's the biggest area I want to see him be effective. If Baron is playing everywhere, he should be first off the bench as safety, not losing snaps to Key and Chris Abrams-Drain. Oh, not losing snaps to Key and Chris Abrams-Drain? I see what you mean. Yeah. Listen, I would love that. Like, I would love Jade Baron to be like the PJ Lock. Like, if a safety were to get hurt, he comes in and plays. I think he could. But I just don't know enough about him as like a full-time safety to feel confident in that. But I think he could be out there balling. I mean, I think it would make sense. Especially if Key and JL Skinner and Miles Scott like don't look all that good as safeties, then maybe. Maybe he will, man. He did make a good play. He did make a big play yesterday. And, you know, I remember watching Karene Reed last year a lot in the preseason. I watched the All-22 film of him. And then, obviously, what he did in training camp. He's a really athletic guy. You know, he's a pretty interesting player to watch in a sense of, like, he can move. He can move. So he's definitely has, I think he's got a lot of potential to be the next great, like a starting inside linebacker. It's going to be a hell of a competition, man. He might be more seasoned and ready to go than Red Murdoch and Torian York. But yeah, we'll see. That's going to be a really fascinating one. And one that I don't think we can have any kind of true evaluation on until Pats come on and until the preseason games. Like, I don't want to see Sternad or Alex Singleton play a snap in preseason. Maybe a drive if they have to, but there is no reason. We need to see the guys behind them get as many snaps and reps as possible in the preseason. That's what I'm really excited about, is just watching those guys go out there and play. I haven't heard anything yet about Torian York, man, but again, we're going to see. We're going to see with him. I still feel very confident he's making this team. Damn, y'all got a lot of comments. Hold up. I want to see him out there on passing downs or inside linebacker or safety to cover tight ends. You talking about Baron, I'm guessing? Yeah, that's what he did last year. Thought he was awesome. Oh, you talk about Karene Reed. Yeah, could be him. I think in this role, I think that's, for me, like, of all the backup linebackers that we have, that's where Torian York, I think, would shine the most, is in obvious pass down situations to be the coverage linebacker. That's like what he did and thrived that crazy at Texas A&M. He was really good against the run too for his size. But yeah, I want to see him out there doing that as well. But I mean, Karene Reed could do it. Lavelle Bailey, maybe, kind of forgotten man. And when the hell are we going to cut ties with Drew Sanders? I have no idea. There's still no news about him, huh? God, I honestly just really feel bad for the guy. I couldn't imagine how shitty that would be, but it is time. It is time to move on. Guys, you guys' comments are awesome. I do got to hop off, but I appreciate each and every one of y'all tuning in. We talked a lot about Taysom Hill, so go back in the stream. I talked a lot about Jade Baron and my thoughts on that, so you can listen to it earlier. Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. But Broncos country, my final message to y'all is this. The team is looking phenomenal by all accounts, man. Phenomenal by all accounts. Let's keep this thing going. Let's keep supporting the squad. I'm so excited to see how this ultimately turns out. There's always going to be twists and turns and new players becoming available and all this kind of stuff. So let's stick with it. But you could always follow the latest, man. Follow my guy David Talks Broncos, Kodiak. Follow Darian, Cody at Still Up Sports, Mike Carmelini, man. All these guys, these are wonderful content creators. And the great thing about it is we clearly do not push any narratives ever. We are strictly giving our full unbiased opinions. We're really locked into the team, and we don't have to push an agenda like many of these big guys do. So support the smaller channels. I appreciate y'all, man, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Peace out, guys.